Welcome back to the green yard and to another planting video. We're in the end of July here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's actually currently 115 degrees outside. I know by the time that this is coming out, it's middle of August, but I'm here and I'm excited to plant our shrub that we have here. It is a beautiful flowering shrub. It smells so good. This is a Tahitian Gardenia, native to a lot of Polynesian islands. Although from my research is actually not native to Tahiti, but more like Micronesia and places like that. The flowers are used in ceremonies as well as on leis and a bunch of other things, and they smell so good, let me tell you. I am adding in our Tahitian Gardenia with these beautiful flowers as part of our herbaceous shrub layer that we have. That we're starting here in the food forest part of the green yard. We have our red button ginger that we planted over in more of the food forest part of the green yard where the koi fish pond is. This here is the introduction to the rest of the green yard. This is where we planted our begonia behind our papaya here, as well as our beautiful starfruit tree, which has taken off since planting, which is really, really awesome. This Tahitian Gardenia is going to go here next to our longin and our Suriname cherry tree. The way that this is designed, or that I designed this area, is we have essentially our fruiting trees, and then we have our shrubs, our herbaceous layer, a fruiting tree, flowering shrub, and so on and so forth throughout this little section of the food forest part of the green yard, this introduction section. We did a planting video on this beautiful foxtail palm tree. Part of the reason that this foxtail palm tree is here is for a future sitting area that's going to be on the other side of our fence that's put in here. Like I said before, we have our beautiful Suriname cherry. It did flower this year, but it did not hold on to that fruit. Hopefully next year we actually get that fruit. We have our longin, which is doing a lot better, our papaya, our starfruit, and then that begonia. I am separating things out a little bit here. I know our begonia and our Tahitian Gardenia, they can get big. I'm not sure actually how big they're going to get here. In the tropics, they obviously get to be a big bush, but here, I'm not sure yet. So I'm placing them far enough apart where they can get a little bit bigger in size, and that would be okay. So I'm hoping they can attract those pollinators, bring in those beneficial insects to help with that pollination of our longins, our papayas, our Suriname cherries, and so forth here in the food forest part of the green yard. I'm really excited about our Tahitian Gardenia. Just from having it here since I purchased it. Every time I walk by, I get this waft of this beautiful gardenia smell. It really is amazing, and I can't wait for it to be more of an established fixture here in the food forest part of the green yard. Let's go ahead, let's work on getting this guy in the ground, and we'll talk a little bit more about what Tahitian Gardenias require here in the Phoenix area, Zone 9B. Here we go. Alright, so really the first thing I'm going to have to do is move all this mulch out of the way. I've learned through planting our starfruit and our begonia so far that this mulch has broken down the first 2 inches or so against the soil, but underneath that it's still that really heavy clay soil. So I am going to use my nursery soil that I have to go ahead and amend that soil, make sure that it is correct, and to give this Tahitian Gardenia set it off on the right foot. So let's go ahead, let's move this mulch out of the way and then start digging that hole, put this Tahitian Gardenia in the ground. Here we go. Okay, so I've dug it out. This soil is actually in really good shape. It's a lot better than our clay soil was before, which is really awesome. There are some pieces of that clay soil though, so I'm going to mix in a little bit of our nursery soil. Alright, so remember we put that nursery soil in basically just to give the tree or the plant a foot forward. You know, it's used to the soil that's in the pot, which is oftenly that really heavy, organically rich, you know, good, nice soil. So by mixing this in 50-50, we kind of create a little bit of that environment and allow the roots to get used to the soil that is around it. Instead of just shocking it and throwing it in there with some, you know, clay soil that it's not used to, we want to kind of gradually introduce it to that other soil that's here. Let's get this guy out of the pot. He's doing really good. Got some beautiful new leaves on here. It's been flowering every day since I got it, which has been really awesome. Super dry though today, so let's see how rooted out he is. He actually doesn't feel very rooted out, so this might be a little bit of a challenge here. Kind of rooted out. There we go. Alright, I'm actually going to lower it down just a little bit here. The root flare of the neighboring long end is a lot lower than this one. I want them to kind of be the same level so I can irrigate similarly, get that flood irrigation to it. So I'm going to put it a little bit lower, just to get them close to each other. Okay. All right. So we're going to put this guy in the ground here. He's getting a little wobbly on me, unfortunately. This plant has, you can tell it's been in the, you know, it's doing good, but it's wanting to go in the ground. So that's really what I noticed with a lot of the plants that I've been planting lately. They do not want to be in the pot, especially when it's 115 degrees out. They want to be in the ground. The ground is what helps them survive and live through these extreme temperatures that we have. So if you can plant things in the ground, it's always better. For the most part, some plants, obviously there's an exception to the rule, but for the most part that in ground is going to be the best option, and is really has the potential to help as well. So speaking of in ground, this guy is all planted. Look at that. Make sure I can see that root flare. Remember, we exposed that root flare to allow that tree, those roots, to take up the oxygen in the air. We definitely want that to happen. I'm going to bring some of this soil back over here. It's mixed a little bit with mulch. I'm actually going to grab some mulch and put it around too. Just around the edges here. Some good broken down soil, so we're just going to add it in, then I'll mulch a little bit later. Next time I put mulch in this area, I'll throw some over here. Alright. Looking good. All right, so our Tahitian Gardenia is in the ground. Beautiful plant, it really is. I'm super excited. These flowers are so fragrant. Honestly, I don't think they smell anything like a normal gardenia. That's not true. They smell like a normal gardenia, but they're like 5 times as powerful. It just smells so good. I could literally just smell these all day. They smell amazing. So our Tahitian gardenias need a pretty established microclimate to be successful here in the Phoenix area. They do require that afternoon shade. Now this spot, I've been pushing it a little bit. It's been in the pot, which from what I know, they do better in the ground. From everyone I've talked to, they do better in the ground, but it's been in the pot. It's been, record heat, 115, 117 degrees, and I've been watering it every day in the pot. It gets sun in this spot from 10:30 to about 1 o'clock. 10:30, well, maybe 10:30 to 12:30. Kind of that middle of the day heat. It's a little bit hotter in this part of the green yard. I've been shocked by the fact that it's actually putting out new growth. It seems to want more sun. Just kind of shocking to me. So I think they might be able to push the envelope a little bit and give them a little bit more sun than just that morning, morning sun until 10 a.m. I think they might be able to do better even with some little bit of afternoon sun as well. So just a thought there. I'm going to kind of, do a growing update here in about a year or so, see how our Tahitian is done. They do require some cold protection, not anything extreme, just some mild protection from any frost that we might have. So I am going to cover it the first few years. After those first few years, it should be pretty acclimated, pretty good for the climate there. So I'm really excited. I know I've heard that they get pretty leggy, meaning that they get, those really long branches that kind of fall over. I'm wondering if giving a little bit more of that afternoon sun is going to kind of hinder that and make it not so leggy. So that's something I'm going to play with a little bit too as well. If you guys have any questions about our Tahitian Gardenia or any other plant, please feel free to comment below. Happy to answer those questions. If you want to see a video on any of our plants, please let me know and I'll go ahead and work on getting a video out. I can't wait, honestly, to have our whole yard smell like these, because we'll have a ton of flowers on this large Tahitian Gardenia. It really is paradise here in the green yard. As always, live green, plant lots, and of course have fun. We'll see you next time.